The House Ethics Committee is very interested in finding out if Representative Matt Gaetz was getting high at parties as a member of Congress. And not just getting high at parties, but also if he engaged in any
sexual anarchy
with minors. So now this is according to multiple sources familiar with the committee's work, talking to ABC News. And there is a sworn written statement that they're citing that was obtained by the Ethics Committee from a young woman who claims that she had seen Matt Gaetz in 2017 at a party featuring alcohol and drugs, including coke and MDMA. There you go. He appears to be, if he was there, if that really was him, having a good time. Okay. Now, in a sworn statement, which has not been previously reported on, the woman said that in addition to Gaetz, the party was attended by the then minor who was at the center of a years-long Justice Department investigation into accusations the Florida congressman had sex with when she was 17. According to the sources, the woman also claims she saw the then minor nude at the party, which was also attended by adult men other than Gaetz, and that at the party there were allegedly bedrooms that were made available for, once again,
sexual anarchy.
Okay, so now Gaetz, of course, denies all wrongdoing. He's repeatedly denied all wrongdoing. I didn't do it. I did nothing wrong. I never did anything wrong. I don't know who these people are. Okay, so let's get to some caveats, all right? So here's the thing. Though the statement obtained by Congress references Gaetz, it was not written specifically to the Ethics Committee and is not primarily about the congressman. The woman does not discuss whether or not she had knowledge of Gaetz's alleged sexual relations with the then minor, sources said. So it's not like definitive that she knows that he was doing that. Still, her, sworn statement says, wow, I did see the guy. He was there. Now, when asked if Representative Gaetz recalled attending the 2017 party, spokesperson for the Florida congressman told ABC News, no, it never happened.
No.
Okay. The spokesperson also said no when asked if Gaetz had used illicit drugs since becoming a member of Congress. Now, here's the thing. Come on.
Bullshit.
Do Congress members use drugs? Yeah, duh. Yeah, of course they do. Of course. I actually don't think that there's a whole lot wrong with that. I'm for decriminalization, right? The only thing that would get me is the hypocrisy of being like, we're anti-drug. We're going to crush them. We're going to use the DA and crack down on them, these people, while they're after they snort up in their office, I mean, the hypocrisy always bothers me, and it should also bother you, okay? It should bother everybody. But I don't care what they do in their personal life as long as they're, not harming other people. In their professional life, seems like these people do nothing but try to harm other people. So, that said, we have a sworn statement that places Gaetz at a party with the then minor that he's alleged to have had sex with. Now, Gaetz denied having a relationship with this minor, and previously even claimed that she did not exist. Well, it turns out she does exist. She's real. Back in March, it was reported that Gaetz was subpoenaed as a witness by attorneys representing that very same minor in a civil lawsuit brought by Gaetz's longtime friend, Chris Dorworth, who alleged that he was defamed by her, the woman that's alleged to have not existed and actually does, during the Justice Department's probe into the matter. So she very much exists. Now, in that case, Gaetz will be deposed in June, and he might end up getting asked some uncomfortable questions, okay? Whether he had actually had sexual or intimate relations with said 17-year-old. Either he tells the truth that, yes, he did do that because, again, he'd be under oath, or tells the truth that he didn't do it if that is indeed the truth, or he lies under oath, which would be perjury. Not good. Not good. Now, look, if you're asking my opinion on this, which implicitly, if you're watching, that's what you're doing. I think he did do it. I think that he did it, and I think that he's, embarrassed, not because he did it, but because he got caught doing it, and that he tried to get Kevin McCarthy to shut down the ethics probe, and when McCarthy wouldn't do it, well, he's the guy that got rid of McCarthy. At least that's what, McCarthy said. He's like, hey, look, I don't know if Matt Gaetz did it, but he kept trying to get me to shut down this ethics probe. And I was like, nah, I ain't going to touch this. All right. I'm not going to touch it. I'm not going to do anything with it. We're going to let it play out. And of course, motion to vacate, McCarthy, gone. Whereas MAGA Mike Johnson having some, differences in policy positions with Green and Gaetz and things like that. Well, he's still there. I mean, and so far, Gaetz hasn't joined Marjorie Greene's motion to vacate against Mike Johnson. Very interesting. Very interesting indeed. That said, you also have Gaetz's one-time close friend, Joel Greenberg, who had admitted he got 11 years in prison, right, for trafficking. He admitted to paying young women to attend sex parties, and then also claimed that he and Gaetz had paid for sex with multiple women, including the 17-year-old. And, by the way, Greenberg is now cooperating in the ethics probe. So, I think that has Matt Gaetz worried. And that's why we've seen Matt Gaetz play the Trump playbook and call this entire thing, it is weaponized government. Really? Well, who's running the House Ethics Committee right now? Oh, that would be Republicans. Republicans are, they control the House. Yes, it is a razor-thin margin, but they control the House, and they're in charge of these committees. So are you saying that the Republicans are weaponizing the government against a fellow Republican? Look, I know he's not exactly popular with Republican leadership right now. I get that. But also, isn't the fact that they have such a razor-thin margin of, a razor-thin majority kind of at the top of their minds, they wouldn't waste their time with this ethics probe? I mean, they don't really want to mess around with things and make their majority thinner. That makes me think that there's truth to these allegations. And look, at the end of the day, I don't know. We're going to have to see what the ethics probe turns up, when that ends up, first ending and then being released to the public, if it will be released to the public. Either way, I cannot wait to find out. But this new news, this new sworn testimony, not good for Gaetz.